What you want is you want to experience sizzle in your blood. You want to experience walking into rooms and everybody turning their head and being like, there's the guy with all the confidence, there's the guy swinging his arms, who understands who he is, who's grounded in his personality and whatnot. So the big question is, how do we take this knowledge that everybody is reading and actually turn it into something that leads to tangible and real results? And so what we're going to talk about today is like 5 simple steps and simple strategies and simple directions you can go in order to take Jungian theory and the ideas in Jung and a mental model to go with it in order to allow you to turn it into actual, real, tangible confidence. So the first question you have to ask is, why am I not confident? Why is there something wrong with me? Why am I anxious perhaps? Why am I walking around and I'm in a position where things are bad? Why do I walk into rooms and have an assault of negative and anxious energy come over me? What is the sort of functional part of this? Well, a lot of people describe to me having a voice in their head, a self-talk in their head that's sort of being like, you're a piece of shit, you're a loser, you're worthless, you're nothing, I hate you, you're pathetic, oh my God, everybody judges you, everybody doesn't like you. You have that voice in your head that's criticizing you, making you feel bad about yourself. You're beating yourself up. You're not walking around being like, I am the best, I am the happy, confident guy, I am the best person ever, I'm the person who struts and no one cares, I've got the sizzle blood, I've got this fire in my belly that I feel. You don't feel like that person, and you have this demon in your head that's attacking you. I don't know, maybe it's the voice in your head or your ego or something like this. Now, this shows you the sort of standard way that most people approach fixing their confidence, and actually gives us insight to the way that you can use Jung to do this. Most people look at this voice in the head problem and they will do stuff like, they'll often turn to things like cognitive behavioral therapy to try fix the voice in your head, or they'll do stuff like affirmations to try recode the voice in your head. The basic idea is that you sit down and you imagine that you've got a subconscious mind, and this subconscious mind is like a supercomputer, and your whole life you've incorrectly coded this because people have been mean to you and stuff like this, and so for that reason the voice that comes out of the subconscious is negative and being a bully and calling you a bum, calling you not cool and all these type of things. And so what you need to do is, like a computer coder, you need to sit there and be like, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm a juicy boyo, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm a juicy boyo, and chant that stuff over and over again and recode yourself. And look, I'm all for you doing that as much as you want, but you have to wonder, does that actually work? And what I mean by that is that the sort of conception, the mental model here is you've got a computer and you're the active coder, and all you have to do is just recode the computer. Jung would suggest that this subconscious or unconscious, as he would say it, is not really a computer, not a dead machine that you can just code. It's like a living entity, a living being that you have to begin to work with, you have to develop a relationship with. There's no way that you can necessarily control it. In some sense, it's bigger than you. And your job is that you have to actually learn how to work with it and understand what it is and develop a comprehensive, in-depth relationship, as if it's a wife or something like that for you to develop with. And the voice that comes out of this subconscious is a lot more complicated than merely a self-talk or just a bully in your head or a badly coded subconscious mind or something like this. In fact, that voice itself is the voice, my mom was trying to burst in there, is the voice of the instincts, is the voice of the soul, the voice of your deeper body and your deeper passions and older parts of you, important parts of you that scream out of this unconscious and try to lead you to do what you decide to do in your choices in your life and whatnot. So to put it simply, that voice is the voice of life, and we're going to talk about what that means now in a second. So in order to understand how this voice is the voice of life and how you're supposed to correctly relate to it, you need to understand what life is trying to do. What is her problem? Life is in this universe, like all the rest of us. Actually, we're all our life, and she's playing a game where she's trying to defeat death, entropy, and time. And everything is dying all the time. This is what the Buddhists tell us. And life is sort of like, oh God, I don't want that to happen. So she's playing a video game against this. And what she's done is she's chosen Earth as this little realm, this little Minecraft server where she's going to actually wage war against death. And what she's done is she's chosen life forms, these plants around us, these animals that we are, the birds, the trees, everything that moves, everything that lives is life. Now, all of these are these little avatars, these little pawns, these little soldiers in life's big chess game against death. And the basic way that she defeats death is by getting us to procreate, by getting us to bang. It's quite crude, it's quite simple, but this is how the game works. And so she's driving us all the time to achieve these goals, to make sure that we procreate and push on. Now, there's more to life than simply procreation, but that's one of the kind of foundational things that you can understand. Now, the way that she controls each of us as individuals is that she's basically set us up where she's coded us with a whole host of DNA that's full of these things that we call instincts. And these instincts are literally like her way of making us make decisions that are suitable, that allow us to defeat death. These instincts are very important because you might have an ego, we all have egos for example, but the instincts are actually more foundational and fundamental than the ego, and they're able to bully the ego out of the way and make us do stuff, because life has been playing this game for billions of years, and so she's learned the things that are important. She's sort of come down to the fundamentals, the basics, you know, get a girlfriend and procreate, because that's basically the main thing that's going to help us defeat death. We create another avatar for another generation, death is in a bad place. And so when you're walking around and you've got that little ego of yours and you're blathering away and you're thinking to yourself and you've got this self-talk going on or something like this, and life sees a beautiful girl, she's going to press the instinct button and she's going to make you feel a lot of emotions, and it's going to push your ego out of the way and make you lose your focus and zone in and focus on the girl and drive you towards desiring and wanting her, and leave you all kind of fucked up in your head as you're trying to make a decision. What the hell do I do? What's going on? What's happening to me? All these type of things. So life has that type level of control over you. Now the correct way that you can think about this is that you're basically an avatar. You're basically a GTA avatar for life, and life is sitting there in the astral plane looking through a screen down at you, and she's holding these controllers and she's watching you play the video game of life, and she's thinking to herself, all right, well, she has all these buttons, and these buttons are the instincts, and when she's watching and when she sees a girl, she's going to smash the button like lust, go get the lust thing, and when she sees food, she's going to smash hunger and desire, and when she sees someone who's trying to intimidate you, she's going to smash anger and all these type of things. And this fundamental reality is how she drives you to do things, how she drives you to make decisions. Now, what's really important for you is to understand exactly how this influences you, because when you're playing a normal video game, you press these buttons and electricity goes down into the machine and it moves the GTA avatar. But the way life does this with you is she fills you full of chemicals. She has this sort of chemical controller, and she's able to make you literally like make your adrenal glands switch on, and all sorts of noradrenaline and stuff and dopamine and all these things shoot off in your body when you do the things that she wants you to do. Now, how this relates to the idea of confidence is that if you want to gain confidence, you need to build and understand life's relationship to you and what she's trying to get you to do, and you need to figure out a way that you can begin to work with her so that when she presses these buttons trying to tell you to do these instincts, you actually get rewarded with the good chemicals that she can give. If you go for the things you want, like desires, or get the food and all these type of things, and do all this stuff correctly and do what she wants, she will give you bursts of reward things like dopamine and more serotonin and more hormones and all these good things, and you will feel better and you will feel more confident. You might remember Jordan Peterson saying that the top lobster gets most of the serotonin and its posture gets stronger and it feels more confident. This is literally true, and this is the way that you've been coded. Life works with the lobsters the same way she works with you. The greatest problem you have to avoid is when you have a bad relationship with life and you don't understand what these desires and these instincts and these consciences and these voices in your head are trying to say, and you work against them. She's going to constantly fill you with bad chemicals. Your serotonin, and like a video game, all your health bars are going to go down, and you're going to hunch over and start to turn into a fucking golem, where you're going to be sitting there being a decrepit little creep. And this is going to make you feel less confident, and you're going to feel bad about yourself, and you're going to start complaining and talking to me about how you're all anxious and you've got and this voice in your head that's always criticizing you. Now, this fundamental mental model sets up absolutely everything you need to know about how to work with your emotions, because it gets the correct first principle about why your emotions are there and where they come from.